Let's today try a handstand directed practice. To all sessions which I teach or practice commences with a few moments of settling. So just simply sit and just start to feel the experience of the body. So with the eyes closed, you're having some sensation. So experience means there has to be something to experience. And that thing is basically sensations, thoughts, ideas. So just watching. And this you can choose to be the hands at this point. So having the sensation of the hands. And then put the purpose communicating to the hands. Hands, today I would like you to bear my body weight. So you will have to take over from the feet for a while. You have to take weight. So even as I say that, I feel like doing something with the hands. So if you wish to open eyes, you can, but I'm just doing a few simple wrist rotations because that's what the hands immediately seems to be adjusting, just to prepare. Maybe so it's just early morning here, and that suggestion immediately it's just starting to do certain things, and I'm just going with that flow. So just nice, just some extension, just gently working in the wrist, just to prepare it. And breathing is important. So I'm just going to do this one, just 10 seconds, 15 seconds, kind of breathing. So exhale completely, inhale. Exhale. That's 10. Inhale, 15. Exhale. Inhale, 5. Exhale. Just sitting for a few more moments. Just lovingly being aware of that skull space, the crown of the skull. Just lengthening the crown of the skull a little bit upward. Just being aware of the front of that space, just a little bit in front and descending into the skull space, acknowledging the great, what's called the primary motor cortex. So just like talking to them, please fire all the muscles, all the nerves required to give me that kind of handstand experience. And yeah, so they know what to fire. And then now taking my awareness a bit into the back of this brain space and cerebellum. I'm just talking to so many neurons there. it remembers what has been done in the past. It's being held like a program. So just asking it to fire, because it's been a while since I did a handstand. So ever since this viral infection, and today is the first day, so just asking it all to support. So this should do as an opening orientation. So namaste. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of rotator cuff prep. So the knee, right knee opened out, my right elbow is here. So just focusing on this rotation. So it's so important. Rotator cuff, as the name suggests, it cuffs, it holds the upper arm bone in the quite shallow socket of the shoulder joint. So they're very important to hold it, to give it stability when the whole of the arm bone moves up and bears weight. This small, the ball of the ball and socket joint, it has to be held firm in the socket of the shoulder blade. So these are the muscles. So around 10 I did. So just this side, just feeling it. So just to keep me connected, focused, I'm just trying to visualize that area, the external rotators working and rotating the arm bone. So it takes out a little bit of I am doing kind of attitude. The rotator cuffs are doing this action, and I am just wanting it. They are responding, and I can be a little bit in gratefulness and a bit of a wonderment. Okay, so now the same thing I'm going to do a little bit in a little bit weight at it. So it is just I think 3 kg or so, 2.5. So it's around 8. So done. So my chest muscles are rather clingy on the arm bones. So somehow they're always pulling the arm bones down. So the flexion is a little bit difficult for me. And plus, the left side, there's an injury. So I need to work a little bit on telling the chest muscles to lengthen. So many of you might not need this deliberate work. So it's up to you. So I'm just going to do 30 seconds. So this is like a T shape here. And then one hand bends. And then this is the chest, straight arm chest. So I'm just pressing the arm bone down a bit and just turning the sternum away from the arm bone, just staying here for a few moments. Just I'll do whatever gives me a good feeling of stretch. Just exploring. So changing sides now. So open down. Okay. And then slowly come back to center. And now I'm just going for a little bit of passive shoulder flexion. So again, this I'm just going to hold for around 1 minute. And sometimes some of you are very free in this. You don't have to work for it. Then you can even skip this if you want to, if you have some other movement planned. So the more of forearm is kept on it. So I like to keep the hand off. So it's coming a bit more onto the shoulder joint. Join the big toes. So timer switched on. So here, so the idea is to get this sternum to move towards the pubis. So I'm not just trying to somehow put the head down, just sternum, and then I get some length backward. Okay. So continuing to work every exhalation, sternum strongly going back. Then I can also work a bit on this posterior pelvic tilt. This is back the sacrum, going towards the tailbone. Inhale, just relaxing. So exhale, sternum towards the pubis. Then deliberately some spinal flexion. Looking forward, the handstand gaze. Sacrum back. Inhale. Just pulsing. But you can see that as I pull back, the blocks are angling this way. That means my arms are coming back. So I need to counter that by pressing arms forward, even as the rest of the body is going away from the arms. So that is a shrug action, which is so much needed in handstands. So that is the 1 minute. And so now there's no weight, but just working on some flexions just to get that upper trap. So if you watch from the sides, so here, I need to put a bit of effort to bring it to that 180 degree. And there might be a little bit of extension here. So you need to work rounding here and then working on some end range flexions and shrugs. So just shrugging handstand gaze. Remember, we don't want this kind of handstand gaze, just a little bit. Okay. So next is not particularly pleasant, at least for me. It's a 30-second lift up in the end range flexion. So a little bit of upper traps and front deltoids, everything comes into play here. So remember, the starting, the outer armpits has to go downward, and so that brings some protraction. Then I should lift up. Don't retract the shoulder blades when you lift the arms up. Okay, so let's go. So from here, outer armpits down, shrug, lift. That was 30 seconds of a little bit of dukkha and tapas. So now just coming back. So just simply just being, just a few breaths. So now I'm going to do some wrist prep. So on hands and knees. So just this base of the wrist and palms lifting and then bringing it down. So we want in handstand the weight to shift from this side to that side. So that kind of a thought going more towards the mounts of the fingers and fingertips. Now just a few fingertip holds, just a bit of a leans here. So all the time we never go here is protracted and flexed to create that pattern in us firing. Okay, so now turning the palm upward like this. So I have some wrist tissue, so I'm going with one hand at a time. So making a fist and rolling it from here, just gently going down, fist come up. So fist come up. Sometimes I'll just add even more movements. So that's all up to you. Okay, changing. Okay, and then a little bit of stretching, which is coming through Mayura hands, which is fingers pointing backward, palms down, and just sitting back. So again, I got some issues at the wrist, so the extension range is very limited. That's why I have to use parallettes. Later you'll see those are new to me. So just because I can't put the hands down flat in extension. So okay. So this is okay. So now the abdomen has to be prepared up to hold the ribs in the pelvis stable, and the position which allows a little bit of what's called the cobra pelvis in our practices. The posterior pelvic tilt is a more anatomically appropriate term. So the pubis needs to be pulled in, and that the thighs also then is kept slightly up so that the thighs won't go over and you lose balance in an inversion. So I'm just putting a 1 minute timer here to work on this half boat. So I'll do some of the movements from what in our practice tradition is called the 100 core breath series. So we have a few series, and I'm going to take some movements from the second series. It's basically 100 breaths of different movements for the abdomen. Today, I'm not doing all the movements, but just enough to last a minute. Okay, so half board is where you put the lower back down to the floor, upper back off. So this is version 1. So just like this. From here, you can do the different movements, which I'll be doing. If you've never done it, you can watch the video first. And then those who are quite familiar with all these things, you do the full boat version, which is arms back. Okay, so let's go half boat. So this is half boat. Right knee in, arms forward. We're just doing 5 breaths. But as the arms go back, the upper back should not touch, and the lower back is touching all the time. I change leg. The same thing, but straight leg. Really engage the plantar flexion of the foot, good extension of the knee. All this will come into play later. This is just a bit outward. That's 1 minute. So now just doing a little bit of lengthening to the abdomen as well as a bit of a hip extension strength work. So this bridge, I'm keeping the arms like this to further enhance the side chest lift. So one leg up. So it can be straight up. I'm just keeping it straight up for the time being. So just lifting. So around 10 reps is nice. Just to press it down. You can work at it from different ways, abducted. Different options are there. Okay, changing legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Abducted. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just externally rotated. The pigeon pose kind of action. Okay, done. So even supine, you can just lie down, out trump is up, big toes touching, feet pointing forward. So lower back is currently off the floor. Exhaling, press it down. Inhale, let it arch. Exhale, engage the abdomen, press the lower back down, don't let the arms come up. Inhale. Again, exhale, lower back down. Reach arms back, front thigh should not pop up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Okay. So, again, because of my slightly restrictive that chest muscles, I'm going to use this stick assisted shoulder opening. So just here, ribs controlled, taking it back and down. So just a few rounds just to feel the chest muscles starting to allow the arm bones to move freely. Okay, because they tend to internally rotate and they tend to bring it down. So I'm just thinking for handstands, is there anything I should prepare? Yeah, the hamstring haven't particularly worked. So in the scissor teacup, especially, the hamstring is involved. So I can just work with it with the Parshvottanasana. So that's just one leg like this. So just taking a position, just clear for you. So here, first thing is the pelvis. There's a slight rotation. In all this yoga, one leg front, asymmetrical kind of positions, a slight rotation, kind of bringing the left ASIS in line with the right. And then as you go down, there has to be a slight twist, a rotation of the upper back spine to keep the chest lined up with the shin. So you know that when you put the hands down, they're equidistant on both sides. Just a little bit of dorsiflexion work I'm just doing here. A little bit of plantar flexion. So just to work on all these different components, and then whatever comes is a bit instinctive training because it's not completely a guided session. Okay, so now from here, just pushing the hip out, pushing the hip in, pushing the buttock back, pushing the buttock a bit forward, all these kind of works. Just so now I can work a little bit on retracting and extending the spine, then protracting and flexing. Retract, arch, retract, flex, retract, arch, retract, plus. Then some flexions. There you can see I'm struggling to get a good range of flexion here. Just getting some movement. Okay, now just getting a little bit more of a hip flexion, bending the leg a bit. So a little bit of the rotated triangles. So all these kind of beautiful positions of the yoga, you can bring it all here because of that all will bring that balancing. Okay, and then changing legs. So the left leg, same way, just working it, squaring of the pelvis. Some foot movement, dorsiflexions, plantar flexions. That should do. So any kind of movement which will help to bring in better opening from that. Okay, so kind of ready. Hip flexor strength, that is important. So just doing this hold. So this is Udita Hasta, Niralamba, unheld, unsupported leg up. So it's not very comfortable. So just having the wall to lean back on is just for a comfort. So taking the right leg up and just straightening it, plantar flex, and just being here. So if you feel just a cramping kind of sensation at the front thighs, at the hips, don't give up yet. If you feel discomfort somewhere else, back or anything, then you can always just stop the movement immediately. But otherwise, this is where we want to work it. Okay, that's 1 minute. So just, yeah, just nothing to do. Just let it rest. So now that takes a support. Let's change legs. Left up. You don't have to worry about height much. Whatever degree is still your hip flexors are working to lift this thigh bone, which is heaviest bone, off against gravity. So just doing an amazing job. So well done, hip flexors. A loving relationship The last few seconds, you can even end range. I'm pulsing. There's 1 minute. So this 1 minute, you can even accumulate it. So you can even pause the video and get it done around 1 minute. So now we have set up, and so now maybe we can go into the handstand itself. So remember, you can be doing this against the wall. You can just kick up to wall, or if handstand is not your thing, you're currently working on shoulder stand, headstand, forearm, any of that, because all the prep work is common to all of that. So arms overhead, loaded, hold positions. So choose your appropriate position. So today, since it's coming after a little bit of a physical kind of a viral infection and all that, I don't know how this is going to go, whether the balance will be there, but it's all interesting, the body. It's just watching. So I'm not going to hold long. So if at all balance is there, we can never take it for granted. I'm just going to hold it for around 30 seconds if the balance is there. Otherwise, a few kick-ups, that is great also. Okay, so let's go. A little bit of elbow adjustments, which is okay. It's around 30 now. Can continue, but not wanting to push the body too much. Slowly coming down. Okay. And taking a short rest. So the breath is not too out of whack. It's just, it's flowing okay. The heartbeat is still a little bit fast. In yoga, we don't simply watch. We watch in the knowing that what we are watching is a response, especially body processes. The heart is beating fast because it was suddenly asked to send more blood to the handstand muscles. So this beating, that is a response that is so amazing. It is instantly recognizing which muscle needs more oxygen, more glucose. And then it beats harder, faster, sending blood there. The body heat is a little bit up. So amazing. Fire element. I feel you. Air element. So I'm going for a second round. So again, just 30 seconds, if the body allows. Okay, that kick up did not work well. Okay, let's go. A lot of elbow adjustments to this. Once I'm better, I'll have to work specifically on getting the entry form. But today, I'm just happy the balance is back. I'm coming down. I'm just keeping quiet because in between efforts, the effort serves as like a rinsing of the mouth in between snacking and such stuff. So you rinse the mouth, and just for a few moments, the mouth palate is kind of relatively clean. The liquids of the mouth is not getting co-mixed with different that bolus, that food stuff. So like that, the efforts just cleanses the palate of consciousness just for a few moments. Right now, there is nothing much other than because this is recording, I'm just thinking of you and talking, but otherwise, you get this beautiful moments, and it's good to connect. If yoga is your main practice, and so for me, yoga is not a set of positions and movements, it is the underlying wisdom context to bring that orientation again and again. That is the yoga practice. And that's it. So I just planned 2 sets just to check out whether the scissor kick up is coming okay. So it seems to be reasonably okay. Of course, shoulder flexion is not optimal, so the body bends the elbows and pushes back my body to upright. That's something need to be worked on, but grateful. So now tuck is the next entry. Tuck is very difficult for me because of limitation in shoulder flexion. So I've got a left shoulder long injury. So the left shoulder doesn't really go to 180 degrees. So that all gets more challenged in tuck handstand. But for some of you who have great shoulder range, and you might find tuck easier. So I'm just preparing a little bit. So I have the block in a vertical orientation, and I'm just going to set the timer for a minute. So just arching. I've kept the stick here. That's just to give me some leverage to arch back. So I'm catching the block at the thoracic spine. Then the timer is switched on. So the stick is taken. So, and just staying here for a while. So what I want to feel is my upper thoracic spine, the T1 to T5 perhaps, that needs to ground well. So if it's only the T10, T12, that means my spine is not extending. So right now, yeah, I'm even lifting up the buttocks, giving a little bit of the posterior pelvic tilt, and also to get good grounding of the upper thoracic spine, dragging, elbows are extended, and now slowly trying to keep that posterior pelvic tilt and trying to descend this. Okay. It's okay. So I can feel upper and lower thoracic spine. I can feel the shoulder flexion, the stretch through the chest, a little bit through the lats. And slowly coming off. So we'll give a try to tuck handstand out. So I just have to, again, set the timer. So the tuck, because it involves a little bit more shoulder flexion, I kind of almost expect my body to figure out that balance line by working through the elbow, bending and all that. Okay, but another day we'll together perhaps work on getting that good shoulder flexion and minimizing elbow adjustments. So let's prepare for tuck. Okay, so shoulders over the wrist. Turn this up. So chest in, bending. Okay, elbow just bent. Okay, forward. Saved it. Should be around 30. I can't see the stopwatch anymore. So slowly coming down. So the entry, because I almost actually saw the elbow adjustment, it's quite fair that that happened as well. So the practice should be to not see the about to unfold event in the light of what unfolded in the past. So I actually could not help it. That thought came. So then the past, which is folded and folded in the past as a program, it just unfolds and kind of repeats itself. So the practice should be to see based on what you want to see. So that can then unfold that information, that intention, that even asking that greater force to just work it out. Just want to see no elbow bend, a very smooth pick up straight into tuck without adjustments. So let's give it a try. So that's what I'm visualizing. There I'm jumping, holding. Okay. And again, to say, just because you visualize once doesn't mean, but that's the practice. Okay, so second round, tuck. Slowly coming down. So part of me wants to label whether that was better or worse. But again, the yoga of it is not to label. That was what was beautiful, grateful. So next practice is we want to work on the third entry, which is the straddle entry. So for that, I'm just preparing a little bit of hip abduction in terms of strength. Hip adduction, the adductors need to lengthen. So this is for the strength is abducting. So just working just to get this movement. Okay, so now just a little bit of length work. So again, first thing in the morning. So just want a pelvic movement. So just using the block as a direction. So I'm just putting like a 1 minute kind of work. So this is here. So my pelvis is pushing into my navel and plantar flex feet. So chest up so that we don't round straight away. Chest up, just push into the navel. So telling the nervous system, hey, we want the pelvis to tilt forward, which will bring navel down. So if you just say head down, it'll go this way, which is navel back. Pelvis doesn't move much. It's more of the spinal flexion. So when minimizing spinal flexion as of now, yeah, this is a nice position. Okay. Slowly reducing height. Chest is still up. And that's 1 minute already. That doesn't matter. So just working. I need some shoulder flexion at this position in handstand. So just changing the height slowly. No hurry to reach the floor. I don't have to reach the floor. Because I'm so quite close, just doing a few seconds and then slowly coming back. So the straddle hold. Let's see how that goes. So a parallel. Okay. Okay. So let's give it a go. So, nice feeling. At the airport, one of it feels like falling out. I don't know why. Is my head tilted? That's steady. Okay. That felt okay. So it's just nice that all three standard injuries are quite okay. So when we are recovering, that's one of the main things, like in terms of recovery from an illness, and it's a recovery. The morning I felt like I can give this a go, but later need to check how's the recovery from the effort. If there's a lot of fatigue, then maybe I pushed it a bit too much. So all that will be always Swadhyaya, tapas, Swadhyaya. Relax. Okay, 1 minute. So let's go. Second round. Okay, so here we go. Oh, again, that elbow. Just come on, body. You can do better, but I'm grateful for what you're giving me right now. I think it's around 30. Okay. Just simply being. I'm also feeling the body, whether it needs anything. Like, wrist, do you want me to move you, stretch you? But they seem to be saying, just don't do anything with me. Just let me be. So then that's fine. Just watching breath in the space of consciousness. Experience of breath. Rising and falling. So the experience emerging and submerging. And the consciousness in which this emergence and submergence is happening is not emerging or submerging. It just is. So now the rest of my practice usually will be to completely surrender to that. But as a guided session, I'm ending the session here. Namaste. Thank you.